On today's podcast, we find out why Sid's retired at the right time. We have Countryfile's Adam Henson on discussing whether you can milk a man. We have a business venture. It's caps for goalies. Hello and welcome to that Peter Crouch podcast with me, Peter Crouch. I've got Steve Sidwell with me, the Notorious, and Mr. Chris Stark. Everyone okay?
Very good.
I know Sean Waters. Are you still been ill or you're right now?
All right, just trying to crack on with a bit of fitness and stuff like that. Yeah. So beers when we have a bit of
on the waters as well.
Yeah, you are. I'll give you the thumbs up. I see you in the gym the other day.
Appreciate
on
that
the socials.
Message, actually. Yeah, I didn't want to be one of those people that puts it up on social because I always think you're doing that for the wrong reasons then. But I did.
But you did.
And
what were you doing? Were you trying to kind of
on the treadmill?
What were you doing with that
treadmill?
Yeah,
you're just promoting your journey.
No, we're not doing that again.
Taking positive steps.
Just taking positive steps.
Yeah. Well, because you talk about it on the podcast, and weirdly, people do actually. I've had some lovely, encouraging messages from people going, fair play to you. Even if Crouchy is going to take the piss out of you walking, it's a start, and you've got to start somewhere.
I'm not on Instagram.
Walk/run.
It's just walk/run.
I didn't see the speed of the treadmill, but it looked like it was just starting out.
Yeah,
maybe fair to say.
Yeah.
Got to start somewhere.
And that's what I'm trying to do. Just 20 minutes every day, just to, I don't know, trying to get into it.
Love it.
Yeah, that's interesting that you do bring up your fitness journey today, because today we're focusing on gyms and what it's like to be in a gym in the Premier League and in football, I suppose. In general, lots of interesting stories happen in the gymnasiums at football clubs.
I'm excited to get into that. I imagine it's a bit of a stressful environment because weirdly, before we recorded this, we were talking, I can't remember why we'd got onto it, but we were talking about nipples and you were saying that you're really uncomfortable showing your nipples. Am I right?
Even the word nipple gets to me. I don't know why I have to touch them when I say the word. Yeah, I know, because I just think someone's going to tweak it. And I'd rather you punch me in the face than tweak my nipple.
Isn't that funny?
That was a thing, wasn't it, when you was kids? Like no. Did you ever get like a nipple rash? Because some players get like nipple rashes with the jerseys, like wherever the badge.
What's happened? You've got some sort of nipple trauma?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's weird. Ab's dad's the same. He's like,
what have you both
go
been
near
up
his
to?
nipple, he goes mad. I don't know what it is. It's not. I'm all right. I don't mind tweaking, nipples myself, but not mine. Not mine.
Are they OB?
They're out of bounds, mate. Totally out of bounds. So not for me.
I don't mind.
Isn't that interesting?
You don't mind it? So if I went over you and I can't even do it.
Go on, do it.
Couldn't do it to anyone.
Yeah, but you said you're all right on his.
No, I wouldn't do his because it'd make me feel weird.
I got tiny nipples.
Could you? Mine are really brown. Quite brown, aren't they? I've got a bit of hair on them there as well. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know where this is going.
You don't do this on the other pod, do you?
Well, compare them. Wow.
I had a weird, I suppose we're on the subject now, but I had a weird nipple experience not too long ago with Joel Dommett. And we worked out you could milk him, as in he secreted some sort of fluid from his nipple. And I didn't believe this because I didn't think you could milk a man.
This is just Spanish drink everywhere. Wow. Oh, the quote of the series. I didn't think you could milk a man. Wow. I think you'd be right to assume that.
Yeah, but sure enough,
you can via
Joel Dommett. And
does milk come out? Like milk.
It's bizarre. It's one of the strangest things I've ever seen.
Put it on too?
You wouldn't get much out of it. It'd be onto a small sort of, what do they call it, Petri dish? Was that the one you used at school? It's just a small sort of, you wouldn't be enough to...
Spoon?
Yeah, you could put it on.
Well, like a teaspoon or something.
I guess so, yeah, but it'd be a tusp, wouldn't it?
Imagine putting that on your cornflakes.
But there probably is people listening, or probably are people listening that can do that. But I think you can milk anything now, can't you? They milk cashew nuts.
Do they?
But yeah, you can get cashew milk, and that's...
I think if your technique's right, you can milk most things.
Yeah, if you go to the milk in a supermarket, it's not just your blue, green, red, You got your
Oat milk,
cashews, your oat
almond
milk, your almonds. They're milking everything, the fuckers.
Where does that all come from? Like oat milk, right? What?
Yeah.
Where does that come from? Like,
In what sense?
like, well, where? So oats, right? So
Yeah.
what do you do? Like milk oats?
Yeah, you squeeze it, massage it, I think, until the milk comes out, I guess.
Fucking hell! I'd love to know the process of that.
I actually don't know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what is
Do you
the
have any of that milk
process?
in your house? There's none of that milk in your house, is there?
No, I mean, I have seen oat milk in my house.
Mm.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know. I don't really like the taste, but I don't know. I'm a bit old school with milk as
Yeah,
well.
I'm the same, mate. White gold, they call it now, because it's
Yeah.
quite pricey. But I don't, we do talk about cows this series, a sort of very disproportionate amount.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. That's interesting that you brought that up, actually, because I think we have got a voice note apparently from Adam Henson of Countryfile.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's advising us about the cows.
Yeah, I got it here, Crouchy. The boys have just fired this across to me. Oh, it's a video as well. All right, let's have a look at this.
Hi, James. Adam Henson here. I'm in my car.
Sorry.
Oh, no. Sorry. How was this? I was not expecting
That's
that.
not him, is it?
Don't from the start, please.
Amberley special, Brian.
Let's have that again, please.
Hi, gents. Adam Henson here. I'm in my cattle shed with all my cows. And I thought I'd answer the question, what makes a good cow? What are you looking for? I did wonder, what does Peter Crouchy's podcast want a cow for? Anyway, who cares? I think it's wonderful you're interested in cattle. So, here goes. We've got around 34 different breeds of cattle up and down the country, from the Scottish Highland up in the north that's hardy and hairy, down to the dainty Jersey down in the south that produces beautiful milk, a handsome beefy Hereford in the Midlands, and everything in between. So lots to choose from. But when you're choosing an animal, what you want is one that's fit and healthy, bright in the eye with a shiny coat, that's got good mobility so it can get around well with straight legs, not twisted in or twisted out. But for me, one of the most important things is their temperament. They need to be of good nature because you're going to work with them every day, and they need to be nice and quiet and placid. Well, good luck in finding your cow. And if you need any more advice, you know where I am.
Oh, thanks so much, Adam, for that. Really interesting.
That is interesting. I wonder what area's got the best temperament cow, because, northerners, they're quite relaxed compared to southerners.
Yeah, but mind you, if you're from Jersey, obviously that's south, and that feels pretty stress-free. It's also tax-free.
It's a win-win. Let's get our cow from there, please.
Jersey, please. Okay, guys, listen up. Crouchy here. I've got a question for you before we get into this week's episode. Lads behind the scenes have told me that only 20% of our Wednesday episode listeners are tuning in for the Football Friday show. I want to change that. So hit that follow button and you'll have exclusive access to our world-class wit, football insights, and too hot for TV content that didn't make the original cut. Don't be the one to miss out. Hit follow now. Let the good times roll with that Peter Crouch podcast. Yeah, what did you think, Sid, to the kind of... Were you in the gym quite a bit, weren't you, before training?
Yeah, but not like...
When you had injuries?
No. Like throughout my career, but yeah, like it's all pre-app stuff now. But yeah, it was never sort of summer weights to before training. And the gyms have changed so much up there. I mean, like when we first started, they was literally like a porta cabin, wasn't they? Or sometimes they wouldn't even be a gym at the training ground. You had to go to like a local leisure centre.
David Lloyd or something.
Yeah, serious. Yeah. Whereas now they're like American
state of the art,
like universities. All the and how big they are. They're huge.
Yeah, they're amazing. My obviously experience of the gym all throughout my career was like I fucking hated it really. Like when I first started, I was obviously really skinny, right? And I tried everything to put on weight, and obviously as we've seen now, I've been retired 5 years. I'm probably the same as I was when I was 25. So I can't really put on weight, so I found it quite hard. Like I was on 17, sort of between 15 to 18. I'd do absolutely everything. Like I was doing creatine. I found that kind of gave me cramp, kind of like they dehydrated my muscles a bit. I was constantly in the gym, freaking doing everything I possibly could to get stronger and fitter and be as good as I could be. But I realised it just, naturally your body is like, everyone's different, aren't they? Some players, look at Gareth Bale, for instance.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw him in the gym.
Just naturally.
I don't think I ever saw him. And have you seen him? What he's not one percent of his body fat must be lower than anyone I've ever known.
But did you have to go to the gym? When you say never saw him in the gym, surely you were told you had to.
Yeah, but you could only do the basics.
Not really, was it? I can say at the start of my career, even when I was even at Chelsea, no one were in the gym, no one, and you'd end up being the people that was in there. It'd be sort of towards the end of the season, doing, like I said, the summer weights, getting in shape for the off season for the beach. It was the beach weights. That's what it was. Whereas now everyone's in there doing all the compound weights. What is it? Deadlifts and Bulgarian split squats and everything now. And it's all explosive stuff, isn't it? A load of it is all now. It's all performance weights now. All of it.
Yeah, which makes total sense. I mean, I was doing kind of weights all through my career, but not like ridiculous, like heavy weights. You just do things like before training, you'd get your kind of muscles active, with the bands, kind of squats. I remember when I was at Liverpool, they had me doing, as soon as I arrived there, it was Paco Estrian, who's now at Villa with Unai Emery. Brilliant. I mean, genius, I thought. He's an amazing guy. And he ran Liverpool. He ran Melwood basically under Rafa. He was absolutely amazing. And everything was timed, everything was planned. But he had me doing these squats before training, reasonably, not like ridiculously heavy, but enough. And he thought it would kind of like almost get you warm. It's like a warm up. But for me, I was like, no, I would go out there, and I ended up pulling my hamstring twice. I said, this is not for me. You can't have us all doing the same weight. Just didn't work for me. You know what I mean? It was causing me injury. Yeah. And my because I was trying to get bigger and stronger, faster, everything, it would end up having a detrimental effect. So I'm trying to do these weights to improve performance, but it'd end up hindering me by getting injured. So I just realised in the end, it was better for me not to do it.
I think that's the key, isn't it? You know your own body now. Whereas before, the sort of centre halves, the goalkeepers, they'd be doing big weights, and then the fast, tricky wingers, they'd be doing sort of more tiny, explosive stuff. Whereas now, everyone's sort of got the same set program. So you're doing a warm-up for the warm-up. So that everyone would be in the gym, let's say, 10:15. And then there'd be hurdles or a line, and you sort of put your legs over the hurdle. It's all like mobility now, isn't it? Yeah. And just core, little different stations, 10, 15 minutes a day before the training starts. You think about that every single day, every week. It's going to have a good effect on the body. That was
the kind of thing I did.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, like that core stuff, that kind of all body weight stuff, rather than lifting big, massive weights. I don't think that's how I would get injured.
What about first day? Do you have to lift massive weights just to look like you're much stronger than you are?
Yeah. Well, I don't think I ever did that.
Is there a pressure to perform on that first day to make it look like you turned up in good nick, that kind of thing? Show them the goods. Show them what they've bought.
Well, that wasn't my game. I'd do all my. Sometimes I'd find myself, right, there'd be players in the gym constantly, right. I'd always see them getting injured, and I'd say to them, like, "Are you sure lifting all this weights and then going out and training is a good thing?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, you got to be stronger, you got to be." And I'd be like, I was always dubious of it, and I didn't miss a training session. Like throughout, you can count. I probably missed, I don't know how many weeks in the course of my 20-year career. Hardly any. Yeah. And that was, I'm not all down to, but I just felt like sometimes the more you push yourself, like in there, and then go out and train, because you're basically damaging your muscles so they repair bigger, right? Bigger, yeah. So like, how can you damage your muscles and go out and train?
Yeah, it's an unusual sight seeing you in the gym. I remember seeing you in the gym at Stoke. Yeah. Because again, 9 times out of 10, they put that gym with big, massive glass windows right in front of the training pitch. And we started to warm up, and you obviously wasn't training. As we was jogging past, you was there with a big dumbbell, barbell, whatever they're called, like doing some squats. And it's just like, we stopped and started cracking up.
I'm doing these squats, right, in the gym. But obviously, it's a big mirror and all that, right? So I'm just plowing
Is
on.
it quite a wide stance?
Plowing on.
Wide stance.
I'm plowing on my work. Anyway, they've all gathered and got everyone to like look at the window. So I've turned around. I've gone, oh, fuck off.
It's the usual sight seeing you in there. I gotta say. But you are right there. You do get some that are in it all the time. But Chelsea, Bridgie, and he is a freak. He would be in there. I'd go down and, whatever, 10 minutes before training, 20 minutes before training to do some prepping. And he would have been there an hour. Like, just smashing stuff out.
Sweating.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny.
He would have had, what would have been, Sopranos maybe? He'd have had, he'd
We've been watching a box set.
Watching a box set while he's doing a bike or a run with headphones on and then smashing some weights out.
Wow, before
we
training.
know Bridgie, he's a freak of nature.
Well, yeah. Is that when he wasn't playing though?
He's not playing that season.
I just think I don't know how you play, 2-3 times a week and still be, have time to like smash these bikes out. Especially at that level, playing for England as well.
Would you ever get managers in the gym at the same time?
I remember seeing one.
Because that's an odd experience.
I remember seeing the judge in there.
I remember one particular manager had the gloves on and all that, and he had his assistant, and it was after training.
Yeah,
come in with the gloves, like banging, and they'd be spotting him, the assistant and the fitness coach. There is.
I think that's
what club's that?
Gloves.
No comment.
No, come on.
Got him with the gloves.
I think that's a tight management unit, isn't it? That's great. They're there training with the players. They've got to be fit as well. Mm. Well, they don't, but they've,
When
why not take advantage of the gym?
That's what I mean. I do think that.
Yeah.
It costs a fortune to join a gym now. Like if you're the manager, get yourself in there. It's like people love the gym, don't they?
I remember when I signed for Stoke and Tony Pulis had left, I think the season before, or not long before, and the staff were kind of moaning about the training ground because he designed that training ground, I believe. Especially more so like around the gym.
Yeah, you probably did, yeah.
And the staff weren't really happy with the layout because he didn't really configure, but he was obviously a big factor of his team was big, strong lads. So there would have been a lot of gym work, wouldn't there?
Yeah. It was,
a lot of managers have a lot of say now, do you reckon, on the...
I don't know, because I think it's like a lot of the time it's like the fitness coach, isn't it? And there's a team of people that are like, it's all scientific, very much scientific now.
Yeah.
Whereas managers would probably have a lot less say, I'd say, in the gymnasium, in the rehab, it's all much more scientific, and those people have got qualifications, been to university to know exactly what's needed inside the
have you been to a recent gym at a training ground?
Unbelievable.
Could you imagine what they look like, Starkey?
Well, no, I mean I saw a brief glimpse. We were doing some stuff at a training ground recently, weren't we? And I kind of got a feel that it was all very, very top quality stuff. But
there's squat racks after squat racks, isn't there? It's like they are. It's like literally, it's like university.
It's like those big
style.
American football ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I remember I made my England debut in the New York Giants Stadium, and there's American football guys. The lockers and then like the space they've got in the dressing rooms are unbelievable, or the locker rooms.
Yeah.
Was the gym always a place of work, or was it fun?
No, you'd have a bit of fun in there.
There's more fun there.
I remember. Do you remember at Tottenham when I was coming through? I remember we used to have a little bench up, and obviously Darren Anderton had quite a history of being injured, didn't he? And I remember being injured a couple of times. And it was like Ledley King, Darren Anderton, Chris Armstrong, and he'd play this little 2-touch game over. It was like a little game, like 2 mats of those wooden benches that you see at school.
Yeah.
And then 2 more mats, and you had to get it over and obviously land on the mat like a football tennis game.
Yeah.
Oh my, what a game that was! I'd leave there at like 6 p.m. It was when George Graham came in as manager, and obviously he's like, how much treatment can you have? And he wouldn't let you leave because there was a history of injuries at Tottenham, and he said if you were injured you don't leave till 5 o'clock. So most of the other lads are getting in the car at like 1:30. And you've got to stay there till 5, have 3 lots of treatment. basically just make shithousing you so you don't be injured.
Yeah.
And so we had to create games, and that was one of them. And oh my God, what a game. And that was probably what the gym was used for in those days. You know, no one was really in there.
Did he just not believe in injuries, or was it to give you maybe a combination of both? Or was it to give you some actual, like, an intensive treatment program?
No, it was all to shit out of you. It was all. He thought that there was this thing that Tottenham were a bit soft in those days, and you know, people have labelled that over the course of Tottenham for a long time. And there was a bit of that where it was like, hold on a minute, these are taking it easy, got the foot off the gas, I'll be injured. That kind of mentality, and he was trying to stamp that out quickly. I don't think there was that kind of mentality. I think there was some injuries, but it'd make your life very difficult if you were injured.
It sounds like you were injured and playing mat bench tennis.
Very true. Yeah, that's very true. But
there's a load of games, wasn't there?
So he had a point.
Probably did, yeah. He probably came in and saw us playing that game.
The gym was like the physio room, wasn't it? It was like where everyone congregated, and then the games would happen. It like two touch like rondo circles.
Yeah. The fit lads in there, doing the 2 touches for flicks. That was always good. The old ear flicks. Do you remember how aggressive they were?
Well, yeah, there was blood.
Drew blood a few times with the ears. I can't even tell you how.
Well, it got to just being a flick.
I feel like I should show you one.
I don't think you need to show me. It
ended up being like a.
You'd like
you could follow through,
right? And leave
Is
it
this
in.
really going to hurt?
No, it's going to hurt.
You could.
But like we used to do it every day, so just don't lose, basically. But yeah, you'd flick and like leave it in there. And like,
do you want to do this on me?
No, I don't know.
You do.
Well, I do want to, but I don't know. It will hurt.
No, it won't.
Well, okay, I'm not going to go deaf or nothing.
No, we do it every day.
Then.
Oh. Do you want it or not?
Oh, we're in now. Go on. Oh,
You all right?
That's a well-practiced flick, isn't it?
That was standard.
That wasn't actually one of my finest. Like you need more like
you could
purchase in there. Marko Arnautovic was probably the best.
Bardo,
Bardo,
yeah.
Phil Barsley, probably the best flicker I've seen. Great game though. Oh my God, what a game! 2 touch basically, 3 lives.
Yeah,
drop the ball, ear flick. You see it quite a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that happened in the gym, wasn't there? I remember someone doing bench press once, and someone sat on his face
naked. Yeah.
Which club?
Arsenal. And then it didn't go down. It didn't go down well. It didn't go down well.
Yeah, I remember. Do you remember the other one we did? You know, we do testing before pre-season. Mm-hmm. You do all your testing, and like, you know, they measure kind of like, you know, how supple we were. Kind of jump tests. Remember? I remember the jump test in the gym. Obviously, you know, I'm tall, right? But I jumped. You know. Okay, decent jump, but I didn't go anywhere near the roof. Kevin Jones went straight through the roof. I've never seen a fucking leap like it. You know, he used to do that backflip, didn't he?
Yeah.
He used to do the backflip. Yeah. Well, he's just jumped and his head went straight through the ceiling. Through it. You know, obviously like the school ones where they're like
the
flimsy,
square.
Flimsy square.
Yeah.
Straight through the square. Unbelievable. Yeah, and then I remember going, fuck me, I'm about 2 foot taller than him. I said, I better have a go at this. So I did manage it, but I had to try so hard and put my head through.
How do you get amazing at jumping? You know, because we used to have a player, Heider Helgeson, who really wasn't tall. I'm sure he was about 5'10", something like that. You know, not small, but not tall. And he could just hang in the air. He beat everyone.
Tim Cahill was a bit like that, wasn't he?
Practice that at
training. That's what the weights do. That explosiveness,
height, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Les Ferdinand was one of the best I've seen as well. Kenwin was a joke.
I think there's got to be a natural element to it, but you can improve.
Definitely can improve.
You can definitely improve.
I was shocking when I was 14 because I was so tall. I never had to jump in my life. Literally, like I'd be like heading balls and I'd be fine. So then I never learned how to jump.
Yeah, a lot of tall players, I think, don't Because you're right. They take the height for granted.
Right? Yeah, and it's the same. I often find with fast players as well, their technique doesn't improve.
Yeah,
it's not as good as someone who's had to manipulate the ball to get past people.
But is that what equipment's missing from the gym? Is there something that could be designed which would aid heading? Do you see what I mean?
Jump, leaps and stuff like that. Well, it was just all like squats and that kind of thing,
so
like pushing off.
Jumping off the boxes and it's like quick reaction times as well. There's a load of stuff to it. It came in towards the back end of my career, really. Yeah. Like that real focus on explosiveness, wasn't it?
Mm. Yeah, it did
and
help.
More of it's now. You get a lot of players now that are having gyms at home to do that. You know, so they're not just doing it at the training ground. They've got like their own PT as well from someone outside of football doing some stuff for them at home.
How much or any importance was put on mental fitness? Like, would you have sessions together or individually at football clubs around that?
Yeah.
So you're obviously doing so much work on the physical, but was there really anything that was...
certain managers would bring in people that you could speak to. Even towards the end when I was at Burnley, when I retired, there was someone like a qualified almost psychiatrist. There was. I remember Graham Taylor brought someone in as well that was quite forward thinking from him, and I spoke to him. I don't know what you would call him or what his role was, but he was someone that kind of helps you mentally. And I don't know if I've talked about this before, but he made me write on a card like my year plan, my 5-year plan, and my 10-year plan. It's interesting. And put it in a drawer and leave it.
It's quite a hard thing to do, I would think, as a footballer in a game that changes so much.
How far do you go? And would everyone have the same kind of goals? You know what I mean? But like they start small and obviously end big.
And this was with Graham Taylor that you did that plan?
Yeah.
So I guess the natural question is, how did the plan go?
Yeah, like exceeded.
Yeah.
Because obviously...
Do you remember what was on that plan?
Yeah, I remember, because I was like getting the starting 11, number one. Do you know what I mean? That was where I wanted to be. Then it was, I think I tried, it was like win something within kind of 5 years. And then it was like getting the England squad. You know, so I don't know if that, I'd love to see other people's, whether it was more like current than that. You know, more kind of, I aimed big, I suppose, but then I did achieve it. So
I think if I say everyone's different, aren't they? Some people might have wanted to play abroad. Some people's ambition is to go and playing wherever.
Yeah,
could be something non-footballing. As well. Yeah. Not even just job-wise. Could be just a feeling or a life situation or meeting someone or whatever it is. Yeah. Maybe that's what it was meant to be, and you just stuck with football, Crouchy.
Maybe, yeah. But that's it. There was no right or wrong.
No, exactly.
The question.
Exactly. I imagine. Did you see a change towards later in your career? And I don't know if importance is the right word for it, but an emphasis on your mental health.
I'll be honest with you. When I played, it was kind of unspoken, wasn't it? I don't think it was very much kind of get on with it. You do even from the kind of press side of it now. There has been a change, isn't there? Like you can't absolutely ruin someone, anymore like we used to, didn't you? You used to, just totally ruin them and then like not worry about how they're kind of feeling. Do you know what I mean? It's like that was very much when we played. I think it was you just get on with it and like, you're highly paid, so shut up, fucking get on with it. I think that was more.
It was always the elephant in the room that was never really spoken about. It wasn't even a thing really back then, was it at all? I think that, and I think a lot of people now probably go to the gym, like people that have retired from football and in all walks of life. For that one, that's one of their points of going to the gym. It's just to be healthier, but more so to clear the mind. How many times you come out of a gym and go,
feel better, don't you?
Feel 100 times better now.
Don't you feel better when you exercise? Like,
it's the main reason. It's interesting you say that. Like, it might be too much information, but like I spoke to someone recently, and they were saying that part of how you would feel would be totally different if you at least try exercising. It doesn't work with everyone else, and so even doing a small amount, it's strange how I feel awake in the morning. Obviously, I get up early for my job. but I'm more awake and more alert in kind of, because I used to think it was a bit of a fit person thing to say, is just to go, you feel better if you do exercise, but it's like, yeah, but you feel better because you've done some exercise, so you're feeling maybe just a bit smug or like cocky or arrogant about the fact that you've done exercise, and you're that kind of person to do exercise, whereas I was just being lazy. But it isn't that, it's your base layer seems to improve. You have a higher tolerance 100%. Of life and everything. When even with 20 minutes doing basic thing for me, it's changed my your mindset, how I am day to day.
It easily does. It releases endorphins as well. Like it creates a better feeling inside you. It's that's scientific. It does make you feel better. There's no denying it does.
No, and there's no better one than when you don't want to do it. That when you go, oh, I haven't got time or I don't feel right, but when you just get it done afterwards, you go, that was good. But
that's the thing. You had that every day with your work. You had this without realising.
They're starting younger now. Like just keeping like with the gym. When I was coaching at Brighton, you see youngsters like about being taught the technique now. So they would have like a wooden bar and wooden like plates as if there was weights, just literally learning the technique, because a lot of it is to do with technique. And then obviously when they started getting into the older groups, I'm talking they could be as young as whatever, 13, 14. Then the 15 to 16 starts going into the gym with us, and then you'd see it then develop from the technique, then going into the real stuff. So they're starting them on younger and younger now.
But do you miss that? Do you miss that daily?
I do, yeah. That's what I miss, the fact that you don't have to think about being fit. Like it's just taken care of. You know what I mean?
No, you're right there.
How lucky are you?
You take it for granted how fit.
You just think, that's like, people pay a lot of money to join gyms, right? You've got the best gym ever, private, for you, every day. And you go out, you train, you do fitness, you eat healthy. I have breakfast, lunch and dinner sometimes at the football club.
Yeah.
All top stuff. And everything's just taken care of, and then you come out of it and think, fucking hell, I've got to do stuff now. Yeah. And obviously I don't do anywhere near as much as I used to.
I think that is one thing that I learned when I finished, was that even though I was naturally fit, that I took it for granted. But now that I've come out of the game, looking at the average player or most players, how fit the the top elite players are. They are like super athletes. Yeah.
And
you can't believe how fit they are. The highest end, because they've got everything there day to day. Whatever they want to work on is there, and the right people around them.
I didn't realise how fit we were when we played. I didn't honestly. Now, obviously, when I try and do things now, even when I play football now, if I do 5-a-side or something like that, I'm like, what is this problem where I can't get over there? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I can't understand why it's hard to get my head around the fact that I just run there and run back. Like, you can't. It's not quite. It's a bit harder now. And even hangovers, right? I'll have a few beers now. When I was playing, fucking get up 7:30, no 7 o'clock, like whatever, no issues at all. Whereas now I'm like, it hurts a bit. And I'm like, I never used to think like how everyone used to say it to me. Everyone was like, "What the hell is the matter with you?" And it's like nothing affected me, and now it does. It's weird, and it's something that you got, I suppose, get used to.
It's because your norm was every day. Your body was. It was the endorphins.
So
it was fit. It was everything piled in.
But even summer though, I wouldn't do much in the summer. I watched people and they were running every day, and for me, summer was about rest. And I'd come back and I'd just be fine, like right at the leading the running with everyone, no problem at all. No body fat, obviously, because
How do they measure the body fat thing?
Was that calipers, isn't it?
Always feels quite brutal.
They take a measurement from your arm. It's all measured. So they take a centerpiece of like your arm, your hips, your belly, on your back,
legs,
and your leg, and
calf,
thigh, and then they take all the measurements, put it in a machine, and it just comes up with a number. So I was always around. I was always low as well. I was in and around 8-9%, and then you'd have a target of what you're meant to be when you come back for pre-season. Some people would come back big, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Oh.
You get on the fat burners early. But yeah, it's quite shameful, really. Like if you're in that high bracket.
They'd go in the special group, wouldn't they? And they'd do like the early morning runs on pre-season, like the fat burning runs before anyone else.
Yeah.
Up before,
like a club.
Yeah. Fat club. Well, that's what it was.
I mean, that's kind of what I know. It sounds bad and derogatory, but that's exactly what it was, right? It was body fat.
Well, it's body fat, yeah, and theirs is too high. So, and listen, you know what football clubs are like?
I'm sort of imagining, you know, the lady on Little Britain, the Fat Fighters one, that lady. Do you remember that one?
No.
Dust. Steve Sidwell. Have some dust. Do you remember her?
No. Oh, well.
But, I mean, that was the thing. And you see it with players coming back from pre-season, because that sounds brutal, and it sounds a brutal way of saying it, but that is literally how it gets measured, isn't it? It's like a body fat thing.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't take long to...
I dread to think.
When your metabolism goes, you're just...
Get cracking on.
Well, that's what they say. Like, that's what confused me. When you sign a player to your football club and they say it takes a few games to get their fitness back, how long does it take?
Yeah. You know when you've been injured, right, and you come back, you train so hard, don't you, that week?
Yeah.
Say if you've been out, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been out that long. Said you might have might know more from injuries, but like... If I've been out, say, for a month, whatever, you get back into training, you think, right, I'm up to speed now. And then you play the game, you're not up to speed until you play a few more games.
Yeah. I think it's definitely more psychologically as well. The quicker you get over that hurdle, the quicker you go, I'm back. Whereas if you go 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, you're like, yeah, I mean, you eat like the body won't lie, but the mind can half paper over the cracks. Whereas if you just start off straight away, you're like, right, I'm good to go. But it does take a while. It's all the neural patterns as well, isn't it? That's what it's all about. The messages.
It's weird, don't you think, when you come back from summer, when the balls come out on the first day, because that changes now. It's totally different to when you went away, isn't it? Do you think? Like your control and everything.
Yeah.
Weird, isn't it? Yeah. Sometimes you're like, what the hell has happened? I've lost all ability.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Your feet aren't quick anymore.
Yeah.
And then, like, obviously it only takes a couple of days to get back up to speed, but you definitely have lost the sharpness with your feet, I think.
I you know what? I look at players now and they're doing so much work off season. Like they're doing a pre-season for pre-season. Like with balls, like even if they're going to places in Mykonos, you know, they'll see people working out there and like finding a football pitch on this island, whipping balls in. And I'm like, I would be miles off it if I'd been playing now. I'd just come back and they'd be flying around me.
Yeah, you know, like I was thinking about it, you know, like how managers would have an input. Like towards the end, it kind of, I think they got phased out by the fitness coaches, wouldn't it? It's like we wouldn't really have a manager's. Sean Dyche's got a manager's day, hasn't he? Where he does his running.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the gaffer's day.
This is my day.
Yeah. And he just absolutely beasts you.
Yeah.
But towards the end, but it would all be fitness coaches.
I think now there's the staff at most football clubs, because there's so many of them. And like you say, the physical department, I think if the manager would just leave it to them, they wouldn't dictate what they want to do, because how can they tell them what he wants the players to do? You know, I think that most managers would end up having a little walk around the session just for general chit chat and being in there, but not to see what the lads are doing.
My thing was they'd be there to oversee it, because you know, if you had the fitness coach, right, he'd probably have a little bit less kind of discipline than the manager, right? So if he shouts at the end of the session, right, you know, say you're finished off the training pitch at say 12 o'clock or something like that, right? He'd shout, right, everyone in 1:30 in the gym, right? So basically have lunch, have a shower if you want, get a second kit, basically a double session. You know what players are like?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off, double session. Get absolutely abused. So the manager might come and step in and make sure everyone's turned up, number one. No?
Yeah. Yeah. And then...
Any excuse to complain.
Some would come in, some would actually not even come in.
I've seen it before.
Yeah, someone just
completely fuck it off.
Oh, yeah.
But then you get a fine, obviously, for not doing it. I've seen it so many times. So many times.
It was like a pre-agreed amount, wasn't it, with that particular fine?
Yeah, well, like with the gym work, like if you didn't come in once, you'd be getting fined straight away.
Yeah.
But now you get your programs at the beginning of the month, let alone the beginning of the week or on the day. So you know when your gym sessions are. It's all based around games.
Weren't you saying, Sids, that is it at Tottenham or is it another ground where everything's key cards, so they sort of monitor what you're eating and that from what you're paying for? I'm sure I read this somewhere. So it's all, and I wondered if it might be the same with the gym sessions, as in they can kind of keep more of a track of, maybe that's the way it will go.
I think the gym sessions.
Like keying into the gym.
Yeah, pretty much.
Clocking in.
Clocking in.
Well, it's easy to skive off, isn't it, with the gym? 3 sets of 10 over there, you could do 2 sets of 8.
Yeah.
Pretend that you've just...
in the gym all the time.
You see it, yeah. That's what I mean. but you know the thing now is...
she's going to drink.
But do you know what though?
So the toilet.
That was a nailed on every gym session, wasn't it, when we was about... I think now they can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
I think the current player loves it. Literally, if it's 3 sets of 10, they'll do 4 sets of 10. Do you not think?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
I think I retired at the right time. I finished at the right time.
All right, then let's fire into a few messages. Got one in from Gary. He says, when you have multiple foreign players at a club who don't speak English, will you also have multiple translators at the club joining in with every team talk? Nah, no. A lot of the time, there's players in the dressing room that act as translators, right?
Yeah.
I remember Robert Prozanicki. There was another player who was Croatian as well, and he ended up being his translator. And he didn't play much by the end, but he ended up staying around to translate for Prozanicki.
Yeah, I think 9 times out of 10. If you sign a foreign player, there's someone in that dressing room that would understand or speak it and then translate. I remember playing against Man City, and on the pitch, whenever I had a time and space, it's always time, isn't it? Time. Like as in, like you got a bit of time on the ball. There's nowhere near. It got to then when you used to play in European football solo, when it's solo, right? Yeah. I remember playing against Man City and Gareth Barry was shouting solo to the players to let them know that they had time and space on the ball. And James Milner as well. Yeah. And I remember looking at GB and he looked at me just to say, game's evolved, son.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean, because I got into that a little bit at Liverpool. There was a few lads. You do fall into it, because they're saying solo all the time, but they say it all the time, like as if you got time, solo. Yeah. And like you'd be like, obviously, yeah, like you said, it used to be time.
On the pitch, yeah. But not off the pitch. No, I didn't really, there was no interpreters really. For
I think we had one. I remember Yoshi Kawaguchi came to Portsmouth, and obviously you think Portsmouth in the 2001, Japanese captain. He was the skipper of Japan. And we had no one. I mean, Graham Ricks was the manager. Jim Duffy, came from Scotland. Trying to think, there was no one really that had much Japanese in the locker. So yeah, he had one. But other than that, I mean, when football became so multicultural, there was so many players in there that could translate. Marko Arnautovic was one who just had, I think he spoke like 5 languages.
But if the manager was bollocking, would the translator use a bollocking tone too?
Yeah. Well, it's harder as a player. And like, imagine you're the player, right? And you don't speak the language, and I'm translating, going, he's saying you're fucking shit. He says, you'll never play for me again if you carry on playing the way you are.
Yeah, because the translator can't risk being on the side, because really the translator is on the player's side, probably.
Well, yeah, I think he has to translate word for word.
Exactly. And you can't get caught out deviating from that. Otherwise the translator would be going, look, look a a bit upset as I'm telling you this, but
you'll be all right, mate.
You're going to be fine. He's a fucking loony.
He's mad.
I think the only way the manager can keep a tab on that is by saying to him, the interpreter, and you say this with passion as well, right?
Yeah.
But the idea that you're getting bollocked by both the manager and the translator,
you can see his face, and you know what he's saying. Like, it's not nice.
Yeah,
and then he reiterates it to you. Like,
in your mother tongue.
And the best thing is, he might be having lessons so he can understand some of it, and then you get it again from the translator.
Yeah, but why don't we flip it the other way? Let's say, Pete, that you're playing in Japan, right? And no one in that team speaks English, but they've got you one translator. So the Japanese manager's he's really not happy. You can sense he's not happy by the tone in his voice. And then you've got a person who can speak English. They're going, "You're shit."
Wouldn't be nice. Wouldn't be nice. I remember Rafa Benitez used to call Bolo Zenden the glue.
The glue.
Yeah, because he spoke all the languages as well. And he'd be like the glue in the change room.
I got a message from James. On the topic of not seeing sides change ends as much, the sight of a goalkeeper with a hat on to try and block the sun is becoming increasingly rare in the game.
True this.
That was on... Lee Dixon said that on commentary.
So true.
For the Man U Liverpool FA Cup game.
So why is it happening less, do we think?
It's got to be a fashion thing, sure. Because, the sun's not changed.
Oh.
Well, climate... Is it
climate change.
Are you a climate change denier, Steve?
Are you denying that this is happening? The sun is definitely higher now.
I mean, stadiums have changed, admittedly, but it still can't be the same for the sun.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
but they are not wearing.
It's really interesting. I mean, it's like, some people measure it by the polar ice caps. I measure it by the caps.
Right. When you think have you got a specific player in mind that a goalkeeper that wears caps?
Yes, 100%.
Right, I'm going to say mine. You say yours.
In my name.
Right. I'm going to say after 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Chris Kirkland.
That's amazing. Why has that happened then?
I didn't have no idea that you were going to do that. Wow. He was the most modern of goalkeepers, I think, that used to wear them all the time. Shocking caps as well, aren't they? Like, you see people with you get a nice, I don't know, cap that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He had the shockers, didn't he? Those shockers that used to go on just over his head.
Looked like being at the bottom of the bag, all wrinkled and
but that's what I want from my goalkeeper, like Jim Leighton or something like that. He used to just bang one of those on.
That's crazy.
You knew where you stood in those, didn't you?
I think it's got to be more of a fashion thing now. They don't do it because they don't look cool.
One now.
If they, that's the niche in the market.
What?
A fashionable cap for a goalkeeper to wear.
Goalkeepers started doing it. There was a couple of goalies that teamed together. I remember Richard Lee went on Dragon's Den. With a hat business, didn't he? Yeah, he did. Yeah. It was like a hat business.
Yeah, like cap, like a normal cap.
Look for investment on Dragon's Den.
There's a market out there now for a fashionable goalkeeper's cap to wear, and it only takes one keeper. If Alisson put it on, looked $1 million like that, and you go, I'm telling you now, they'd be selling.
Well, what are the rules with hats? Like, is it just it's just a club hat, isn't it?
Yeah, but like I suppose
you could wear any hat.
Can you though?
Oh yeah, you haven't got to wear like.
Well, if you support another team than the one you're playing, you're not wearing that, are you? And I guess like what I'm trying to get at is there regulations around? Because I'm sure all kit has regulations, doesn't it? Like
it should have, shouldn't it? But the cap, I suppose, has always ever been.
Won't be allowed a message on it.
Won't it? You could have a message on it, could you?
Well, yeah, it's a good niche for us to explore. We're always looking for business opportunities here, aren't we?
It's almost like, think about advertising. Now, they're advertising on shirt sleeves. They could advertise on the keeper's hat. Yeah. It's like golfers, right? They don't always have to wear hats, do they? They do it because they get a sponsor on it.
Okay.
So,
how bad is it when they take their hat off after the 18th? And they have
Jim Furyk.
Have you seen them with the white hat? Like they're where they play in America for 4 days, and then they take their hat off after the final round, and they shake hands.
Like white.
Have you seen this hand?
I've never seen this.
Get your phone out. It's my phone. Jim, just type in.
Have you got it?
Jim Furyk cap.
Jim Furyk.
It's Jim Furyk. There you go. Wow! Look at this.
Oh, it is Jim Furyk. Is that his head?
That's his head. So obviously he's done 4 days blistering heat with a cap on. It's like an egg.
Well, it's a hat tan. So
that's not just a hat tan.
No, I mean it's.
Can you describe it for us?
How do you describe that, Sid? It looks like.
Have you seen it?
Joey looks like. I mean. If you see this. So if we're describing this, it basically looks like half of a swimming. A white,
Do you know what it looks
like a swimming cap.
Do you know what it looks like?
White
You
swimming
know, if you boil an egg, right, and then you take the top layer off,
Yeah.
Yes.
so you're left with the sort of egg exposed, and you take
there
the
you go.
shell off.
There you go.
It
Yeah.
looks like someone's tapped.
Maybe that's why goalkeepers don't want to do it.
Yeah, maybe. But you don't get that in England, do you? I mean, he's in California there, isn't he? I mean, I don't think Old Trafford you get it.
I'll get abuse for this, but I used to have a hat that you could lift up a little aerial on it, and it had a radio attached to it.
This man was born for radio.
It was
Born for
it's like
radio.
a radio hat. It was great.
Where-
You'd wander around, the aerial would be on there. You had 2 buttons, a volume and a tuner,
Wow.
and then little headphones that went into your ear.
Oh, so it was a headphone, not
So
a
it was
speaker.
like a radio. No, it was like a radio cap.
Wow. So a bit like AirPods for back in the day.
It was the
Yeah,
original,
the original
AirPods, I guess.
Wow, interesting.
But I'm just thinking, if we're designing the goalie hat, is there anything you can add to it? Because you can get the beer hats. Do you remember the beer hats?
Mhm. Yeah.
2 cans and
Yeah.
a straw.
Yeah.
What's the limit here?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose. I mean, like, there's lots you could do, isn't there? I mean, what if you had kind of cap with a kind of little AirPod in it, like you say,
Bit of commentary.
to the bench or something, you know?
Or to the
Like,
bench, yeah.
you know, someone might be saying some stats, you know what I mean? Like, oh, he's coming through, usually slots bottom right. Bang.
Do you know what would be fascinating to do is play a game, but be able to hear what the commentator's saying about you in the game? Has that ever happened? To be able
Wouldn't
to,
want that.
so you could be in goal with the radio
Oh, your
cap,
head would blow-
listening
your head
to
would
you
fall off.
boys banging on about his performance.
Your head would fall off. That'd be no good. Oh, interesting question, though.
Yeah.
Totally agree, James. A message from Joe here. He says, which club provides the best catering when you do punditry?
Oh.
I got one, you know. Whenever I go to West Ham, they always look after us. It's not some specific club. It's Tony's Pie and Mash.
Yeah.
I love a pie and mash, and he does it obviously proper East End pie and mash. Pie and mash liquor.
See, I've never had that. I've never had a proper
Neither.
pie mash liquor.
Oh,
No, I
mate.
would love
Watching
that.
the football, obviously, like we do the game and then we go back and like almost in the box, but you're outside at West Ham at the box, so you're outside eating a pie and mash watching the football. It's a great.
I wonder if it tastes better because it's there.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think so.
East End, or I mean, if you had that same dish in Birmingham or in Liverpool, Manchester, whether it'd be the same.
Yeah, I
Do
know
you
what you
mean?
mean
I
because
do
it
agree,
feels
yeah.
authentic.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, we're in the kind
Yeah.
of it's an East End
You're in
dish, isn't
native
it?
land.
Because I think what if you had chips and gravy in Bolton? You know what I mean? It would taste better than if I have chips and gravy in Ipswich. You know what I mean? Would that, wouldn't it?
Right, we're having pie and mash, okay,
Pie mash and liquor.
and liquor. Yes,
I would love
if it's an
that.
acquired taste.
You had a
either-
jelly deal? You had one of
Yeah, I
those?
don't mind jelly deals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind jelly deals.
You got to try one of them as well.
So what do we do? Do we need to go to Tony's? Is that what you're saying? Or Tony comes
I'll
here?
tell you what if Tony, I'm sure Tony would come on the podcast and get us a dish to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be amazing if possible.
All right, well, let's ask him.
Let's do it.
This is an interesting food concept. So you're saying food tastes better at certain football grounds
100%.
compared to... Because that's fascinating.
Well, yeah.
I reckon there must be loads of examples of these.
I'm saying if you're eating pasta in Italy, it's
Yeah.
going to be better than having it in Spain.
Yeah. Yeah.
It works with I think it's the
But doing it by football
Cycle-
clubs interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Has that been explored yet? It'd be interesting to do
fish and
that.
chips in Grimsby.
Yeah. God, yeah. God, I'm so
Imagine.
hungry, mate.
I'm starving
done
now
that.
as
This is
well.
the thing with this whole gym fitness episode. You know, I'm
It's
really
gone
doing
right
my
out the
best to
window.
try and eat a bit better at the
Oh,
moment.
yeah.
And yeah,
Well,
but
we round the corner here, there's lots of good places to eat.
pie mash and liquor at Tony's. When's that slender tone arriving?
All right, before we go to lunch, by the sounds of it, we're going to do a Gym 11. I'll fire in here. Mark Schwarzenegger.
That's good.
That's good. Wayne Hipbridge. Keith Bicep Curl. Virgil van Beek. Kurt Zumba. Like
Very
that
good.
one. On day trial. Jockstrap Grealish. Danny Burpee. This is good. Minamino acids. George Weah protein, creatinio Ronaldo. Wow. Get on the subs bench. Martin pull up. Ryan barbell.
That's
I
good.
quite like. Oliver skipping rope. Peter ab crunch. Steve Squatwell.
Hey, there it is.
Okay.
There's one in here that's brilliant, by the way.
The physio room.
Yeah.
Titus Bramble. Metatarsal Urzel. Incredible. Hernia Crespo. Oh, keep them coming, guys. We love them. All right, thanks for listening.